शुद्धापाङ्गविलोकिनीं भगवतीं मन्दस्मितश्रीमुखीं वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिनीं श्यामाङ्गीं मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकामीश्वरीं शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। या देवी स्तूयते नित्यं विबुद्धये वेदपारगे सा मे वसतु जिह्वाग्रे ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती।
Om Amriteshwari Namah. I welcome everyone to Amritageetananda, the virtual satsang series. I hope all of us were enlightened in our previous satsang by Puri Swami Amritageetananda Puri. Swamiji had enlightened us about ancient values and modern world. Swamiji also spoke about human relationships in Grihastha-ashrama. Today we have with us Puri Swami Amritageetananda Puri to enlighten us about Ramarajya according to sage Vishwamitra. These talks are intended to the age group 15 and above. However, we can hear Swamiji telling us about on how youngsters should respect the elders. Swamiji would also be enlightening us about Grihastha-ashrama dharma. Swamiji, we offer our pranams and we welcome you once again to kindly share us your words of wisdom. Namaskar.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Dhyayamo Dhawala Vakunthanavatim Tejomayim Nashtakim Nigdhapangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandaspitashrimukim Valsalyamritavarshinim Samaduram Sankirtanalapinim Shamam Gimadsiktasuktim Amritanandatmikamishwarim. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Amriteshwari Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha, Om Ha Saraswati Namaha, Om. My infinite prostrations to the lotus feet of Amma, Universal Teacher, Universal Guru, and my humble pranams to all Amma's beloved children. The topic is the same. We are still continuing the topic Ramarajyam. Amma's question: is Ramarajyam possible in today's world? That is the topic. We will continue the same topic. We will straight away come to the point. Today we will start with an episode in Ramayana where Vishwamitra, sage Vishwamitra, he gives his opinion about what is Ramarajya. So this starts with sage Vishwamitra taking Sri Rama and Lakshmana to the forest to protect the yajna. First Sri Ramji kills Tadaka. Then they go to after that they reach the Vishwamitra sage's ashram, and after that the Ahalya Udharaka, that's also over. Ahalya, Sri Ramji brings Ahalya. Ahalya was a stone, and Sri Ramji, by his divine touch, he brings Ahalya back to life, and then they travel to Mithila. This is the main part now. So sage Vishwamitra, Sri Ramji and Lakshmana, they travel to Mithila, and they reach Mithila well in advance. They reach very early, and there was still a lot of time for the Sita Swayamvara. And so on the way, Lakshmana had noticed the Mithila. Mithila was a very beautiful city. So in the morning, the early morning, Lakshmana asked Sri Ramji, the Bhratasri, can we go around the city? Can we see the city Mithila? Sri Ramji, he was very dharmic. He said, we will see, but let me first ask the permission of sage Vishwamitra. So Sri Ramji, he goes to Sage Vishwamitra and he says, Rishivar, my brother Lakshmana, he wants to see Mithila. Can I take him? Can we both go around Mithila and can we see the city? And Vishwamitra was very, very overjoyed. He was overwhelmed because they had asked permission. Instead of without asking the young boys, they could have gone by themselves. But they were asking the sage's permission. Can we go and see? Sage Vishwamitra was very, very overwhelmed. He was very, very happy. And he said, Sri Ram, you are the very embodiment of Dharma. From today, you will be known as Dharma Setu Palakaha. The Setu means bridge. Dharma Setu means the bridge of Dharma, and Palaka means one who protects. Dharma Setu Palakaha, one who protects the bridge of Dharma. This is the name Sage Vishwamitra gave Sri Ramji, and after that we said when we were studying Ramayana, we were taught that Sri Ramji constructed 4 bridges, but that's a different topic. It takes a lot of time. On another occasion, we can see how Sri Ramji constructed 4 bridges. So the main thing is the Sage Vishwamitra, on seeing the humility and the dharmic sense of Sri Rama, Vishwamitra ji says, the sage says, where the youngsters bow down before the elders in obedience and respect, that is Ramarajya. Understand very well? Sage Vishwamitra says, where the younger ones bow down before the elders in obedience and respect, that place is Ramarajya. And just the opposite, where the youngsters do not obey the elders, the elders have to listen to the youngsters. Youngsters are very indisciplined and no respect for elders. That place is Yamarajya. That place will be ultimately completely destroyed. We have both the types we have seen Ramayana. We can start with Sri Ramji. Here only we can start with the respect to elders, is respecting Sage Vishwamitra. And back in the Ayodhya, we can see Sri Ramji respecting his father's words, and he goes to the forest for 14 years. He is respecting his father's words. That's very, very, very important. And again, we can see in the Mahabharata, we can see a very, very wonderful example where the Mother Kunti, she says to the Pandavas, whatever you have brought, we know the story, whatever you have brought, you share it equally among yourselves. So it happened to be Draupadi, and we can see that just because the mother said it's a Bhiksha, we know the story. It is very shameful. We have never heard of anywhere where 5 people marrying the same woman. We can hear not only in Hinduism, other religions also. We can see one husband with many wives, but we have never heard one wife having so many husbands. It is purely obedience to the mother. It is purely dharma. So when the Kauravas, especially Karna, etc., insulted, it is not. What the Pandavas did was absolutely correct in obeying the mother. That's another great example of obedience to the mother. And then we have very well in Kathopanishad we can see Nachiketas obeying his father. The first father says, you go to Yamaloka. I'll give you to Yama. And then Nachiketas go to Yamaloka. These are the 3 good examples. And then we can see there are very, very many bad examples also. We have seen the good examples where the younger bow down and respect, and they respect and listen, obey the elders. That is Ramarajya. And we can see Yamarajya also, where the youngsters refuse to obey the elders. They don't respect. They go to the extent of insulting the elders. We can see a very good example is Kamsa is a very good example. Kamsa, he imprisoned his own father That is a very, very, very bad example. And again, we can see Duryodhana as another person. He never respected anybody. He had absolutely no respect for elders, not even for his own father. He was always trying, is very selfish and wicked. He thought only about getting everything for himself. That's a very, very, very bad example. And again, we have, if you remember, maybe the best example you can see is the Bhagavan Sri Krishna's own clan, Yadavas. Towards the end of the Bhagavata, we can see how the Yadavas became very, very arrogant, and the Bhagavan Sri Krishna's own son Samba, the friends, they dress Samba like a woman, and then they put something here, and then they approaches the rishis and says and asks, "Oh rishis, please tell us whether this girl will deliver a boy or a girl." We know the story very well. And finally, they fought among themselves, and everyone perished. So where we can see that where the youngsters refuse to obey the elders, there it is Yamaraja, ultimately every one of them perish. Thus you can see in the modern world also, we can see in our history, we can see Aurangzeb, the last Mughal emperor Aurangzeb. Here he imprisoned his own father Shah Jahan. We can see another example is during Buddha's time. We can see the king Bimbisara, he was imprisoned by his son Ajatashatru. There are many such examples. Anyway, that is, we have seen examples. So this is what we call as Ramarajya, where the youngsters, we respect the elders. The best place is Amritapuri, is the best place where the Amma has trained us not only to we have natural respect and reverence and devotion to Amma. We have that is very natural. But Amma has trained us to respect the senior Swamijis. We respect the senior Swamijis and all the seniors. The parents also, we respect in Amritapuri. Here we can see it is certainly a Ramarajya in this world. Ramarajya already begun in Amritapuri. This is what we can see. So why do we respect? Because we can see that in this world, the most valuable thing is jnanam, vidya, or knowledge. And from our elders, the most valuable thing we get from our elders is vidya, or knowledge, or jnanam. Of course, when we go to school, from the kindergarten teacher to the teacher who guides us for the PhD, we respect all of them, beginning from the teacher who taught us in the kindergarten, the LKG. We respect all of them because all of them gave us knowledge. And not only that, in our house also, so many things we learn from our elders at home. Our parents and the elder brothers and sisters, we learn so many things, and therefore our respect is mainly for age. The age has its maturity, and we respect all of them. That is the meaning here. At the same time, we should remember that, so therefore, in the presence of presence of our parents, we may be very, very qualified. There are very good examples here. We can see the deans of our colleges, the CEOs, so many CEOs of our projects. So in the presence of their parents, they are still children. So when we, of course, when we grow up, our parents say, "Now look here, you have grown up, you are growing up, you have grown up. Now you have to take responsibilities." So we should be aware that we are growing up, and we have to slowly. Our parents are aging. Therefore, we have to take up the responsibilities. That we have to always remember. But whatever it is, we are growing up, and we are taking more responsibilities, of course. But in the presence of our parents, we become children. We become children. Especially in Amma's presence, we become, the moment we remember Amma, we become like a child. So some years back, after our senior Swamijis, especially Amrit Surpanji Swamiji, when he received sannyasa, and then we also got sannyasa. So we are a little playful, because when we think of Amma, we cannot become an adult. We are always small. We are a little playful. So one of the senior devotees said, "Now look here, these people are sannyasis. They are little behaving like children. They are not growing. You are growing up. You are not growing up." So Swamiji said, we are very sorry. We refuse to grow up. We are lifelong children, because as long as we always remember Amma, when we remember Amma, we are always children. Am I right? Because the moment I become an adult, I think I am grown up when we forget Amma. When we are always thinking of Amma, we are always children. But we, at the same time, outside we have our responsibilities, and we behave like the responsibility people. That is the thing. And again, the very, very important point we have to understand is it is called gratitude. Because what our mother, Matra Deva Bhava, Pitra Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava, Atiti Deva Bhava, Taittiriya Upanishad, we have, all of us have heard this many times, we have heard. And therefore, we respect our the mother as God, father as God, Acharya, Guru as God, and the guests who come, we honor them as gods only. So this is the thing. So this is actually, later we can come to that topic also. It's called gratitude. They say gratitude is a sign of maturity. A person, at home, we train our children. When guests come home and they give chocolates or something to our children, we train them to say, thank you uncle, thank you auntie. Is it not? So when we were children also, when some guests come to our house and they gave us presents, we say thank you uncle or thank you auntie. So that thank you, it is not just not words. We should feel great. We should feel grateful. That is maturity. And therefore, the parents, we are really grateful to our parents, because the parents have given us, what our mother, our father and Guru, what they have given us, we can never repay fully. We can only be grateful, and we can do little for the water. We can take care of them in their old age very well, and then we can be respectful and always loving towards them. Other than that, what they have given us, we can never repay. So you can, to your children, you can do the same thing. That's the way you repay your parents. Because I don't have children, I'm a sannyasi. I say you respect your parents, and in the same way that same loving nature you show to your children. That's the way. There is a very beautiful story. It says that a young man by the name of Kaushik, he had enough money, but he was very greedy. He wanted more wealth. Therefore, he started a journey when he went in search of wealth. He reached a forest, and it was almost evening, and there he saw a huge bird. I don't remember the name. I think something like Raja. Let us call that bird Rajadharma. That bird was the big, huge crane. He was the king of the birds there in the forest, and the Rajadharma, that is a very, very kind bird, a huge crane. He asked Kaushik, what are you doing here? The Kaushik said, I have come in search of wealth. Therefore, Rajadharma says, very well, I have a friend, he's a Rakshasa, but he's I will take you to him, and he can give you a lot of wealth. So the Rajadharma, the bird, he takes Kaushika to his friend, the Rakshasa, and he says, oh friend, this is Kaushika, he is my friend. So he needs wealth, so kindly give him whatever you have. And the Rakshasa, because the bird was his friend, Rakshasa gave him a lot of precious gems. And Kaushika was very happy. He thanked the Rakshasa, and they went back, and by this time it was sunset. So Rajadharma, the bird, said, Kaushik, my dear friend, you can rest here tonight, and tomorrow morning you can continue your journey back home. And so they both lay down, and they fell asleep. But Kaushik was very selfish and wicked person. In the late night, he woke up and he thought that if I can kill this bird, I can eat it. I need not go in search of food. And he killed the bird, and he cooked it and he ate. And then in the morning, he took the gems given by the Rakshasa, and he walked back home. But unfortunately or fortunately, the Rakshasa, he had come to see his friend, and when he reached the place, he saw that there were only feathers lying around, and immediately the Rakshasa understood that Kaushika had killed his friend Rajadharma and eaten the bird. And therefore, the Rakshasa became very, very angry. He ran after Kaushika and he killed Kaushika. He said he killed Kaushika, and the Rakshasa called his other Rakshasa members, the other Rakshasas, and he said, here is fresh human flesh. You can eat him. So the Rakshasa, they went near the Kaushika's dead body, and then they said, his body is stinking. We don't want the flesh, because he has committed the most unpardonable sin of ingratitude. He has killed his own friend who helped him to get the jewel, the gems, and therefore his flesh is rotten, is stinking. We don't want him. We don't want to eat his flesh. It is rotten because of his most unpardonable sin. Therefore, our Shastras say that there is prashchitta. Prashchitta means, the ritual for the redemption. When you do some sins, you perform some rituals to purify and get rid of the sin. That's called prashchitta karma. We know very well prashchitta karma. So the Vedas say there is prashchitta karma even for Brahmahatya. The greatest sin is killing of a Brahmin. Even for killing a Brahmin, there is prashchitta karma, but there is no prashchitta for ingratitude. So there is no prashchitta for ingratitude. So this is what we have to understand. Ingratitude is the worst sin. If we don't respect our elders like our parents and our guru and other elders who have given us not only knowledge but so many other things, if we don't respect them, then that ingratitude is the greatest sin. This much we have to understand. So that is why the Grihasthasrama, by way of gratitude, we have the Grihasthasramis, they perform 5 types of yajnas. That also we know very well. So they say we have it's called rinam. Rinam means debt, giving back what they have given us. They have given so much. The world around us has given us so much. So we give them back. Because of a gratitude, we give them back. For the sake of gratitude, we give back what they have given us. That is what we call as, we know that is the Rishi Ranam, Devaranam, Pitraranam, then we have the Nirranam, Manusharanam, and the Bodharanam. So the Rishis have given us knowledge. So according to capacity, we learn the Vedas and we teach. Then Devas have given us so much. So they have given us sunshine, we have the rain, the water to drink, the air, etc. So we do the Deva Yajna. Then Pitra Yajna, our ancestors, they have given us our body. So we have responsibility. We have to give back what they have given us. That's called Pitra Yajna. Then we have Niru Yajna. So many human beings around us, they have helped us. And therefore, we have something called the Niru Yajna. Niru means men or Manusha Yajna. Giving back in some way, the Atithi Pujanam is Atithi Pujanam. When guests come to our house, we look after them very well. That's called Niru Yajnam. And then lastly, we have Bhuta Yajnam. Bhuta Yajnam is the Yajnam. So many living, the dumb creatures, they help us in so many ways. And therefore, we have something called Bhuta Yajnam. We are giving back what the dumb creatures have given us, beginning from our cow and so many other the creatures. They help us, even snakes also, etc. This is the very important point. So today's important point is we say that in Ramarajya, the important point, Ramarajya, where the youngsters respect the elders, that is called Ramarajya, and where the youngsters refuse to obey the elders and insult the elders, where the elders have to bow down before the youngsters, that is called Yamarajya. Important point. Therefore, Amrita Puri is a very good the Ramarajya that we can see. And so slowly we are coming to the Grihasthasrama. We have to understand a very important point. See, we have the 4 ashramas. We have Brahmacharya ashrama, we have Grihasthasrama, then we have Vanaprastha, then we have last is Sannyasa ashrama. The man's life begins in the ashrama and ends in the ashrama. He begins his life in the ashrama as Brahmachari and he ends his life in the ashrama as Sannyasa ashrama. So we can see that it's only the Grihasthasramis, only they have income. Please understand this important role of Grihasthasramis. You devotees, Amma's devotees, in the ashram and outside the ashram, the devotees, you have to understand your responsibility, because only the Grihasthasrama devotees, only Grihasthasramis have income. Brahmachari, he is Bhikshandehi, he has no income. Vanaprastha is retired, he has no income. Sannyasi, again Bhikshandehi. So, Brahmachari, Vanaprastha and Sannyasi, all 3 ashrama, they don't have income. Income is comes from the Grihasthasrama. That's why you have to understand the importance of Grihasthasrama. And what is finally in the Swami Shantamritananda, in his talk the last week, Swami Shantamritananda, he beautifully gave a few examples of how married life should be. It's very beautifully he has given. So today also we will see what is the Grihasthasrama. So one very good example I can tell you is the many years back, in the morning after my dhyanam, I was staying there near the Amma's room at the time. So after my dhyanam, 9:30, I came out of my room and I saw, it was at the time after Bhava Darshanam. It must have been on a Monday. So Sunday we have Bhava Darshanam. On Monday, we saw, when I came out of my room, I saw that on the ground there were many the chocolate wrappers. We know the Amma gives us this sweet, the chocolate. It is a wrapper. The wrappers were lying on the ground, in plenty of wrappers on the ground. And one devotee, I was seeing him for the first time, he was picking up the wrappers one by one, and he said, and when he saw me, he said, how can these devotees throw down this wrappers? This has been touched by Amma. Amma has given these wrappers. How can they throw the wrappers? So he was correcting one by one. He was correcting. I also helped him, and together we collected all the wrappers from the ground, the chocolate wrappers, the chocolate cover. We collected them and then we deposited in a place where nobody will step on it. On the foot of the plant, and we buried them where nobody will step on it. So he was intelligent enough to see this also we have to remember. And frankly, I am not boasting that I am not acting like a great devotee. Even after that, even in my room, all the chocolate wrappers which Amma has given me as prasadam, and the bhasma cover, I have kept safely in my room. They are still there in my room. I am not able to throw it away. So what I am going to say, that whatever Amma gives us is something very, very sacred. So this, if you understand this very important point, we can understand we call it prasada buddhi. So that one of our young sisters in the last Tuesday, very beautifully she described how we should live. First we should have, our actions should be Ishwararpana buddhi. All actions, surrendering to God is called God. Ishwararpana buddhi. Perform all actions with the Ishvara Arpana buddhi. And then whatever we get in return, we call it prasada buddhi. Whatever I am getting, it is call it as prasada buddhi. And therefore, I have to understand this very important thing, that all my relatives around me, for my parents, my sisters and brothers, my uncles, all my relatives, all those who are living in my house, they are all every one of us, all the family members have to understand that they are all Amma's prasad. What the karma which I have performed in my past lives, based on the karmas which I have performed in my past life, based on those karmas, Amma, Ishwari, our God has given us the relatives. So we have to look upon our father, mother. That's one more reason why we should be very respectful to them. They are all Ishwara's prasad. Suppose we go to the Kalari or temple and we get some prasad, and then we eating, suddenly something falls down. If a piece of the coconut falls down, we pick it from the ground. And then we eat it. Is it not? We will not throw it away because it's prasada. So prasada is something very, very sacred, and therefore all our relatives around us, they are all Bhagavan's prasad based on the karmas I performed in my previous life, and therefore I have to learn to love them, I have to learn to accept them, and I have to learn to serve them. So you can see that when Amma performs marriage, Amma has performed so many marriages here. So there we can see the husband and the wife, they should realize that the wife should realize that the husband is Amma's prasad, and the husband should realize that the wife is also Amma's prasad. Therefore, they should treat each other with love and respect, and they should care for each other. They should forget themselves and live for the other. This is the greatest lesson which has the Amma's taught us. So you should remember that in Amma's presence, you do all the rituals, the tying of the chain and the etc., garlanding, etc., and finally you show the arati to each other also. So remember this sacred ritual, and therefore we should be ready to accept each other in spite of everything. Like so Swami Shantamritananda said that accepting each other in spite of drawbacks. That is what we have learned, and of course we can understand when, especially in modern world, we can see that we have read a lot of domestic violence, like the husband torturing the wife. We have heard. So in such extreme cases, or in the other way also, if you have serious problems in marriage, my humble request is that we sannyasis, we keep away from marriages. It's not our area. So if you have serious problems, my humble request is, please come to Amma and let Amma give you the solution. Especially, we always remember that when we go to a doctor, when we go to doctor with a problem, we never suggest, doctor, I have this disease, I have this problem, please give me this medicine. We never say that. We say, doctor, I have a problem, so please give me medicine. And it is the doctor who gives the medicine. It is the doctor who finds the solution. In the same way, we have to understand that this is our Amma, is our Bishak. She is our doctor also. So she is our guide also. And it is she who makes the final decision. This much we have to always understand. And therefore, I will give you two important points, and then we will stop for the moment. See, we have a very beautiful, this episode I narrated in one of my previous talks. I remember Mirabai, the great Saint Mirabai, she had no support. She wanted to take sannyasas, but nobody supported her. So she went to Sant Tulsidas. Tulsidas was a very great saint like her, and Mirabai told Sant Tulsidas, I want to take sannyasa, but nobody is supporting me. Please guide me what I should do. And there, the Sant Tulsidas, he sang that famous song, Kutumb taji sharan ram tere ayo, Kutumb taji sharan ram tere ayo. For an individual, if a person has Purna Vairagya, then the Shastras say if he has Purna Vairagya, then he can renounce everything and he become a sannyasi. Usually the Guru decides. The Guru knows that this person is not running away from Amma. Amma is very, very careful about that. She will never allow us to run away from responsibilities. Remember that. If like Sri Krishna Bhagavan, he did not Arjuna to run away. Amma is also, our Krishna is sitting here. She will never allow us to run away from responsibilities. She will say, no, you should stay at home and do your duties, she will say. But she knows that this person has Purna Vairagya, or we cannot say Purna Vairagya, but she can say he or she has enough Vairagya. Therefore, she will say, okay, you can withdraw from worldly life, you can become a brahmachari or sannyasi, etc. She will do that. So here Mirabai had Purna Vairagyam. She has only one thought about Sri Krishna. Therefore, that is why Sant Tulsidas said with Mirabai, my suggestion is Kudumbu Taji Sharana Rama Teri Ayo, because he was Rama devotee. So we have to understand when the general meaning we should understand. It does not mean when Sant Tulsidas say that if you have Purna Vairagya, your Guru will say you renounce and you come away. But if you don't have enough Vairagya, Guru will say you are running away from a responsibility, stay at home and continue your duties. Amma will say that. So here what we mean when Tulsidas is talking to us, Kudumbu Taji, renounce your family and take refuge in Rama. When same Tulsidas is talking to the common man, what he means is that he does not say that you run away from your family. He never says that. He will never say that. Kudumbu Taji, give up your family, that's not the meaning. What the meaning is, give up the idea that I can get happiness from my family. That is the meaning. There is only one power who can give me happiness, and that is my Amma. Every one of us should understand that happiness can come only from Amma. From my family I can give limited happiness. That is the meaning. Therefore, don't expect happiness from your family. But remember, they are Amma's prasad, and therefore I love them. I love them. Their happiness is my happiness. If they are happy, I am happy. Therefore, I serve them because they are given to me by my Amma. All my family members are Amma's prasadam. Therefore, I serve them, and my joy is in serving my family. Just think, if every member of the family thinks in this way, each family member thinks that I don't want anything from others. Let me serve them. Their happiness, if they are happy, I am happy. My joy is in serving my family. If every one of the family members thinks alike, it becomes a Ramarajya. Simple. So that is the meaning of Ramarajya. Every family member thinks, let me serve. My only joy is in serving my family members. That way, if every family member thinks that way, that family, that society, slowly that becomes a Ramarajya. I will give just 2 more points, and I told you the power of human thought. I'll give you one beautiful story. Swami Amritageetananda, he had already mentioned this in one of his previous satsang, but that was in Malayalam. I will narrate the same story in English. So they were 2 brothers who were farmers. So the elder brother was married and he had 5 children. The younger brother was not married. So both of them worked the same farm, and once the yield comes, the paddy comes, they divide into 2 equal halves, and the elder brother will take 1 half and the younger brother will take the other half. Now what happened was, the elder brother, they were very selfless and they were pure-hearted. They loved each other very much. The elder brother thought, I have 5 sons to look after me in my old age. But my younger brother, he is not married. He has no children to look after him in his old age. Therefore, it is wrong on my part to take half the share. I should not do that. So therefore, what I will do, so what he did was, in the late night, he will take a sack of paddy, he'll keep it on his head. Slowly he will walk to his, they were staying separately. Slowly he will walk to the younger brother's house, and he will empty the sack in the barn, in the grainage store, and he will come back. The same thing the younger brother also thought. He thought that it is wrong on my part to take half the share because I am alone, whereas my brother, he has wife and 5 children. They are 7 and I am alone. How can I take half the share? It is wrong. Therefore, he also used to take a sack of paddy and on his head, and he will go slowly to his brother's house and he will empty the sack in his brother's barn. This used to happen very often. Very beautiful story. One day they happened to meet each other in the dead of the night. They were both having the sacks of rice on their head, and they were surprised. And the elder brother asked his younger brother, "What are you doing?" And younger brother said, "No, look, I was thinking that I am alone, you are 7, and it is not right on my part to take half the share. Therefore, I thought that I will give some of my share to you." And then the younger brother asked the elder brother, "What are you doing?" And the elder brother said, he said, "I also thought the same thing. I thought I should not take half the share because in my old age, my sons are there to look after me, whereas in your old age, there's nobody to look after you. Therefore, I thought I should not take half the share. Therefore, I am depositing it in your barn." So both of them, they looked at each other. They started crying. They started wept. They put down the sack, they hugged each other, and then they exchanged the bags and they went home. So the pure thought. This is not the end of the story. After some time, the villagers decided they should have a temple. They should build a new temple, and they called the astrologers and they took Prashnam, and they said, let us see which is the good place, a good place for temple. So the astrologers, they consulted and then to Prashnam, and then they came to a place and said, "This is the best place. This has a lot of purity. This is the best place." And that place happened to be the very place where the 2 brothers met in the late night. Can you understand? The pure love that has created such a divine atmosphere in that place was selected to be a temple, and they built a temple in that place. This kind of relationship we should have. This is what we call real grihasthasamis. Instead of when there is party, the Taravad, we call it Taravad, the ancestor property, when it's divided, we share it. Those who have less money, the more share should be given to them. Those who have no job or less money, and those who have more money, they should take less share. That way we should divide it. This is what we call a Ramarajyam, and a very beautiful example I will give you, and then I will stop. The thing is, when the Sri Rama, Sita Devi and Lakshmana, they went to the Rishi, Atri sages ashrama, and Atri Rishi gave a lot of discourses to Sri Rama and Lakshmana, and at the same time, Atri Rishi's wife was Anasuya. She was the very embodiment of Padivratyam, chastity. So she was talking to Sita Devi. So Anasuya Devi, she told Sita Devi, there are 3 types of wives. The first type, the best type is the wife who loves her husband just because she sees God in her husband, just because for the sake of love, she loves her husband because she sees God himself. That is the highest type of wife. The superior most type of wife is the wife who loves her husband just for the sake of love, for nothing else. She is my God and therefore I love him. The second type, this inferior, second type of the wife is the one who loves her husband because she thinks it is her duty to love her husband. That is second type, little inferior. It's also very good. And then the last inferior type is, the inferiormost type is the wife who loves her husband only because the husband maintains her. Because she gives her food and shelter and dress and whatever he wants. Therefore I live. That is the inferiormost type. Therefore, Ahalya, sorry, again I come to the Anasuya, she was the superiormost. So that is the important point is we have to understand the Anasuya loved her husband, therefore she had a duty towards him. So the important point is duty is part of love and love is not part of duty. Never say that is, it is, I love my husband, therefore I have a duty towards him. That is the first type. Never say it is my duty to love my husband. No, that's not the way. I love my husband, therefore I have a duty towards him. We can extend this same what do you call it? We can extend the same relation, the same attitude to all relatives. I love my father, therefore I have a duty towards him. I love my mother, therefore I have a duty towards him. It's not the other way. It is my duty to love my father. No. It is my duty to love my mother. No. I love my father, I love my mother, therefore I have a duty. Make duty part of love and never love part of duty. So if this is again extended to all relationships, I love my family, therefore I have a duty towards them, that again becomes a Ramarajya. That is the second part. So there are so many other points also. For the time being, we will stop here and we'll continue the next session. I offer these words at the lotus feet of Amma. Om Amritageetananda Namaha.
Om Amritageetananda Namaha. Thank you, Swamiji, for those valuable words of wisdom. I sincerely hope and pray that we are able to implement Swamiji's teachings in our lives. Before concluding, let me summarize a few key points from Swamiji's satsang today. Point number 1. Swamiji beautifully explained about sage Vishwamitra's vision of Ramarajya, where the youngsters in the family or the young children listen to their parents and their elders. Swamiji went on to explain that any household where the young children or the youngsters listen to the elders can be considered as Ramarajya, and any household where the elders or the parents are forced to listen to their children or the young ones can be considered as Yamarajya. No matter how old we grow or how many responsibilities we have, we must always be able to maintain the attitude of humility in front of our parents and be able to remain children in front of them. In our previous session, one of Amma's devotees requested us to hold more sessions for topics that are relevant to youngsters below the age of 18 years. I sincerely hope that this message of seeking advice and blessings from our elders in the family has reached you. In the future, we shall have more discussions on this topic and for topics that are relevant for those below the age of 18 years. Point number 2. When Mirabai was distraught with the treatment that she got from her family and she approached Tulsidas, Tulsidas advised her to leave her family. Swamiji explains that this advice must not be taken literally. It must not be taken as leaving the family or giving up our responsibilities. Rather, we should take it as giving up on the thought that we will get whatever we want from our family or that we will get permanent happiness from our family. With this understanding that we will not get permanent happiness from the family, we will be able to serve them with a selfless attitude. Point number 3. Swamiji also explains the attitude of Prasada Buddhi with the help of Mata Anasuya's example. Anasuya gives an advice to Sita about 3 types of wives. The first kind of wife, that loves her husband only because he takes care of her. The second kind of wife that loves her husband because it is her duty to do so. And the third kind, or the ideal wife, that does her duties for her husband because she loves her husband. Love for the sake of love. Swamiji explains that we must make duty a part of our love and not love a part of our duty. We must also be able to extend this attitude to every relationship in the world. We must be able to consider every relationship, that is our mother, our father, our spouse and all our relatives as Amma's prasadam and accept them as they are. If each individual is able to develop this selfless attitude of seeing everything as prasad from Amma, then we can truly make a Ramarajya on this planet. Kindly stay tuned for more discussions on Ramarajya and Grihasthashrama. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Lokah Samastah Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi